Welcome back guys to SCUR v3.1. This is the first ever minor update for SCUR for version 1.14 of Minecraft, and it's kind of apparent now that we're coming quite close to the end of SCUR's kind of future, if that makes any sense. I've kind of started having the realization recently that I've done pretty much everything I would want to do in this pack. I'm honestly like running out of ideas of things to change, which is a good thing, because I've obviously been working on this pack now for a long ass time. I originally made the torch texture in about 2015 and I've been maintaining it ever since. I made a showcase video. I've inspired by other people's creations. I've taken other people's creations and modified them, and everything in between. And I've gotten to a point now where I feel like my ability as someone who uses MCPatcher is like so high. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of praise here. I feel like my ability at this stage is so good that I could actually justify like making a tutorial for all this stuff for you guys to enjoy if you wanted to, like, you know, have a go yourselves basically. Because in the process of making SCUR, I've used pretty much every single feature that MCPatcher can offer, and if I haven't used them, I know it exists and I definitely can do it. There are a few jobs that I haven't got around to yet that are, you know, obviously a really big deal, namely the sky. One of the changes that we make in today's episode is actually just kind of like removing plagiarism, sort of. But the sky is completely plagiarized. It's recolored, it's shifted around a little bit, but aside from that, I didn't make this, someone else made this. And I do now know how to make sky. So I probably should, and I will at some point, so there you go. Anyway, I could gloat for hours about how amazing I've become and how great this thing is, but you guys already know. So here we are. First of all, we have some GUI changes. First of all, to the furnace. You know, $10 to anyone who can figure out what it is. Cue the countdown clock. It's the flame. It's the flame texture in the center. I've basically changed the flame texture in the GUI for the furnace and the smoker to be more orange, which matches the orange glow of every type of fire in SCUR, such as the actual fire on the front of the furnace itself, the fire particle, the fire block, torches, for example, and a number of other things as well. It's more yellow, basically. And as I said, the same thing applies for the smoker as well. Plug, if you want to smelt rotten flesh into leather, go download my data pack. There you go. Shameless. And the blasting furnace is a little bit more interesting. It has a different texture for the blasting particle. I don't really know how best you describe that. But it looks more like an explosion as opposed to a flame, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not 100% sold on this one just yet, and I may remove/tweak it. But I think it looks pretty nice, so we'll probably leave it for now, if nothing else. But there you go. Look at that. It's like a little explosion. Looks cool. And another self-plug as well. If you want to be able to blast gravel into sand, then again, download my data pack. Yeah. So Magma Block now has an overlay CTM. I've been planning on doing this one for quite some time because it seems like a really obvious thing to do in terms of the overlay for Magma, but obviously I knew that the blocks were changing in the future, and I had a feeling that I would change both the netherrack and the Magma Block textures, but I've only actually kind of merged the Magma Block with the existing one, and got like a midway texture. Even still, I think this looks really good. What it basically means is whenever you have netherrack and magma touching each other, then you get this kind of effect where the magma coals, almost like the little individual rocks, spill onto the netherrack. And this is a full 17-bit CTM method. So in other words, every single combination of blocks has CTM. There are a few things where I've cheaped out a little bit, such as glass and the carved sandstone, but this is definite. Every single combination of netherrack and magma looks correct, and it follows the outline of the existing bits of like lava in between the magma blocks, I guess. And the most interesting part about this is the overlay is animated. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's overlay. And it's animated. It's surprisingly easy to do. I kind of forgot the rule that pretty much everything in Minecraft can be animated as long as you just use the existing JSON format that we see for things like, I don't know, water, for example. You can apply it to anything, including a single overlay texture, which isn't even a full texture. You can even animate that. It's crazy. I think it's really, really good. A few more examples of it there. As you can see, it works in every setup. Even if it's just something as simple as a line like that, it spills over, makes it look a little bit more kind of like random. Not random. Random's not the right word. Makes it look a little bit more natural. as opposed to the blocks just cutting off, as everything does in Minecraft. And there you go, as you can see on the corners, it does actually work quite nicely as well. So there you go. Everything's looking good. The final change I wanted to make is that thing I was mentioning before, to do with the plagiarism. My sticky piston has been, well, to be completely honest, it's been a little bit frantic recently. It's kind of been wondering whether or not it should exist, namely the side texture. I don't know if any of you know Tsushima Void. You should know Tsushima Void if you play Minecraft. Otherwise, get out of here. But seriously, the sticky piston texture on the side shares the same texture as the regular piston, as I'm sure a lot of you will know. If you place down a piston like that, usually in Minecraft, if I did that, you would not be able to tell which one of these was a sticky piston and a regular piston. But of course, with the recent addition, well, not really recent because it's been in the game for ages now, I'm just slow to catch on. With the addition of block models and like model data for blocks, we can now actually specify a different texture for the side of the piston. And you can also, rather complexly, complicatedly, I don't know, one of those two. You can rather interestingly change the side of the piston texture, but only in that one spot for all 3 stages of its extension. When it's flat, when it's short in the middle, and then when it's fully extended at the top, like it is now. You only see that short texture for a brief moment, but it does make a difference, I can guarantee you. If you have the wrong texture on the side, for even 1 frame, you can see it, and it looks shit. So everything has been done correctly now. This is not using Tsushima Void's sticky piston texture. It's actually using my own sticky piston texture, and also my own model files as well. So I've actually finally gone through the files and learned how to do this myself, because quite simply, the reason why I was using Tsushima Void's piston, like all the code behind it, is because I didn't have a clue how it worked. As I mentioned, I feel like I'm better now, and I have a clue how it works, so I did it, and I think it looks really, really good. And I'm just sort of proud of the fact that I made this, as opposed to I stole this, you know? It's different. We'll do the sky at some point, maybe version 3.3. I've already got a plan for version 3.2, so 3.3 will be the sky, let's just say that. Oh, now I've set like a date on it. I have to do it. I've been dreading changing the sky. It seems like such a massive job, but it'll be fun. So for the next changes, we're actually going to spawn some mobs. Yeah, this isn't the only changes we've made today, by the way. I was kidding. We have actually made some changes to mobs as well. Firstly, spiders. That was a regular spider, which is lucky. But if we spawn more, we have the slightly bluish and darker spider. Let's spawn a couple more. There we go, we have a darker spider, so that's the default spider, it's sort of like a browny grey. We have the black spider, which is very subtle change, the least impactful change. The semi-blue spider, referencing cave spiders, and if I spawn enough of these guys, we'll get a red spider, which I think looks pretty cool. Now, the percent spawning chances for these are all quite precise, so for example, you have 10 regular spiders, 6 black spiders, 5 blue spiders, and then 1 red spider. And those aren't exact figures, I'm just kind of guessing. But I think it works out to a point where this spider, the red one, it has only a 1 in 20 chance of spawning, which means that it's at least 4 times more rare than any of the other spiders, which I think is pretty cool. So there you go. If you find a rare red spider in your world, maybe don't kill it. So there you go. Cave spiders have the same treatment, only it's slightly different. They only have 2 variations of skins, the original blue and this new brown one. And that's it. That's the only... Yeah, cave spiders don't get the cool red one because they're dicks. They only get blue and brown. So you might find a brown spider now, but it's a quarter chance, so probably less of them. So yeah. For the next changes, I'll need to do time set 1800. There we go. So next up we have zombies. There's our first zombie dude, and he's actually already got one of the changes, which is cool. Turns out my random mobs properties for zombies has been wrong for quite a while. I had it set up incorrectly so that one of the textures simply wasn't being used, which is wonderful. So I've had a dud texture in SCUR for God knows how long, whenever I originally added these dudes, which was like, I think like SCDT version 1.8 or something like that, which is like 2 years ago. So I think I've had a dud file in my textures for 2 years, which is really annoying, but never mind. So zombies have been tweaked again. There is now a 50% chance of the original zombie spawning and a smaller chance of the more unique style spawning. So we have this guy with just like a slash on his front. We have this guy with the blood pouring out of his mouth, which in my opinion is the coolest looking one. I wish they would actually look at me for more than no seconds before they fucked off. Just gonna keep looking. I can't. That one's the same, and the same, and the same. We've already seen that one. That's the one. So this one's got bloodied fists. and he is the second rarest one. Now, there are actually quite a number of mobs like this where I've made changes where there's one mob which is very rare, like a 1 in 100 chance of it spawning. Now, the one for the zombie is actually Herobrine, so there's a 1 in 100 chance that when a zombie spawns, it will have the Herobrine skin. So again, if you see a Herobrine zombie, or if you just see Herobrine in your world, it's only a zombie, don't worry. The legends aren't true, but it's a zombie, just skinned as Herobrine, so there you go. We also have some slimes. Slimes are cool, right? Yeah. So slimes have had some variations of texture for quite a while in my pack, ranging anything from bright yellow to bright blue. I've simply toned that down so that the yellow ones are a lot less yellow, and the blue ones are less dark and more like a light blue colour, almost like the Tinker's Construct slimes. And they're also now equally as common. So it's equally as common that you'll find an original slime, a blue slime, a slightly yellow slime, or a blue slime. And of course, there are variations in between for each one, as before, as you can see there. I'm going to very quickly just do a kill mobs, because it's going to probably get to be quite a bit in a moment. So at all type equals fucking dead. There we go. And then we've got slime, and then we got to do slime again, and then we got to do slime again, and then we got to do item. There we go. So we killed... Oh, there was 104 mini slimes there. That's crazy. Okay, so for my next trick, I need to show you guys some squid. So I'm going to very quickly get some water. We'll just do that. I'll do fill. I wrote a hashtag for some reason. So there's some water. I'm also now going to do time set to 6,000. I'm also doing this one in a slightly different format, as I'm sure you guys can see. I only set up the blocks for those first few things, and with the mobs, instead of making little cages and like naming them and making ceilings and stuff, I figured we'd just do it more like this, because apparently an impromptu episode is more interesting to watch anyway. So here we go, we have squid. Squid have a lot less variation now, which is good, but there we go, we do occasionally get one of the rare ones, which is cool. So, squid beforehand had 3 variations on texture. They had a blue, dark blue, and also black. I've added a few others as well, which is cool. We now have a purple one, which is actually slightly less rare than the darker blue one, or the cyan one, but it's still more common than the black one. And then, of course, we have the black one, which is the second most rare, and the most rare is the red squid, as you can see there. And I just thought that the red is such like a cool colour pop. Like, I'm kind of... This makes me want to change all the squids to red and just remove the blue squids, because... Like, squids can be red in real life, can't they? So this would kind of make sense. But no, the red squid is actually now just a really, really rare one. So I think it's about 1 in 50 chance of you getting a red squid. So there you go. It's a red squid. Yeah. So one other change I've made, I can't actually show you on screen right now. I'm going to get some screenshots up for you, though, in just a moment. I can't believe that squid's killing himself. One of the other changes I've made is to chickens. I've been considering making this one for a while, but when chickens spawn in swamps, they now look like ducks. So there is a 66% chance of it looking like a brown duck, a 33% chance of it having that classic mallard look with the kind of green head, bright yellow bill, and the varied coloured body with like the brown chest almost. And there is also now a 1 in 100 chance that it will spawn looking like a rubber duck. And this is for my friend Glaceon. So if you're watching Glaceon, there you go. You can maybe now have a duck, a rubber duck, because, ducks are wonderful. So, yeah, aside from ducks, we do actually also have a few other things. The squids are all murdering themselves, which is amazing. Please, please improve the squid AI. It's ridiculous. It's so dumb. For my next trick, I need to summon some doges. So I'm going to do wolf, tilde, 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 and I'm going to give it myself as an owner. Skaliber. Boom, there we go. So this is a dog. Obviously, we know what dogs look like. I have slightly changed around one of the skins, first of all. This is, of course, a black Labrador. I've made it more black. I think when I originally made this skin, I was worried that the eyes wouldn't stand out very much because, of course, with it being a black Labrador and having black eyes, they would just sort of, like, be lost, and it would look like a really derpy, white-eyed guy who was, like, looking outwards with both of his eyes. And now that I've told you that, I'm sure you can't unsee it, because I certainly can't, which is annoying to say the least. But obviously we have more variations of the skins for the dogs. So we have the black lab, we have the this guy's like a King Charles Spaniels, we have a husky. I love the husky, I think it looks so good. We also have a German Shepherd, and look at that, I got all 4. perfectly. So yeah, we have Black Labrador, King Charles Spaniel, Husky, and also a German Shepherd dog as well. Now, I've also changed this a little bit. Obviously, the Black Labrador texture has been changed, but there is now a 1%, no, not 1%, a 10% chance that the Husky will spawn with one bright blue eye and one bright orange eye. And this is, of course, a reference to the fact that some Huskies are born albino with a really, really extreme case of heterochromia. And I only know that word because of X-Men, so no shame. There you go. And that's all the changes for SCUR v3.1. I hope you guys enjoyed my little showcase video there. Download SMR or modified recipes or whatever I'm calling it now, and also download Bling Edit, because it's like Bling Edit has done the equivalent of dying in new on Reddit, and it's so good. So please download Bling Edit. It's so good. So anyway, if you want to download the pack, as usual, a link to download it will be in the description as always. You can stay up to date with all my stuff on my website. And again, I feel like I should probably start saying subscribe, because I'm actually starting to get a few viewers coming from other places, such as Reddit, and also maybe a few other places as well, but mostly just Reddit. So if you do want to see more of this kind of content, and you are interested in my textures and would maybe be interested in watching a tutorial somewhere down the line, do subscribe, because it's really, it motivates me loads to, see people enjoying my content. And, leave a comment. If you came from somewhere interesting, tell me. It's really interesting to see. I have been doing the YouTube thing for a little while now, but obviously I've had to restart the channel quite recently, going back about, I think, October of last year, just because of personal reasons, really. So I've gone from about 150 subscribers to, I think, 39 today, which is nice. So obviously, subscribers aren't really that important. I'm not really fussed about getting high view numbers. As long as there's only like 3 people in the world enjoying my stuff, that's fine. But yeah, if you want to see more content, do subscribe. It does give me loads of motivation. And yeah, I will see you in the next episode. So thank you for watching SCUR v3.1, and we will return with v3.2, where we're going to be doing lots and lots of MCPatcher changes. So yeah, see you around, guys. Bye bye.